I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Viva. No. And Gulpy and Chip.
Speaking of Gulpy, this is his crew.
Yep. They asked for Led Zeppelin.
Sit in Glory. If you want to be down with a Patreon community or whatnot, all you got to do is jump on the Patreon thing, starting at $1. I mean, there are other tiers and other benefits of tiers. You get a shirt and all that stuff, but the intro is $1, and then you get yourself lined up with a crew. So
yep.
You can join the Epic Underground crew, which is led by the big homie Drew Laguerre. What's up, big homie? You can join the
stuff about him.
You can join the XU, which is led by Helen Dross and Zonia. You can join Anarchy 99, which is led by the big homies Silver Kyrie. Or, of course, you can join the True Cult, which is led by the big homie Damon Sage. Anarchy 99 is my favorite name for an alliance, and they also
Did you
have...
miss one? Did you just announce 6? There's 6 of them.
2. I announced 5. Who's the other one?
I don't know which one you missed. Sin and Glory, True Cult, Epic Underground, The Extreme Underground.
And, of course, the Core. Right. You can join the Core, which is led by Pony and all those good ladies. So... there's a lot of options for you. Each group is different. They have their own rules. They have their own culture.
Yeah,
they
their own
chat.
way of
They've
making
got
it work.
They've got their own little community. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, Anarchy 99. They've got their own video intro and all that jazz. It's pretty crazy.
Most people say that it's fun joining the alliance.
Yeah.
Finding an alliance and then working with your.
What did Alex say?
Like
it worked.
It worked.
What did he say? It worked.
Well, yeah, but I haven't seen it come up on the list, so I need to make sure.
Right.
It did in fact work before
they probably told him it worked. Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. So, if you want to check us out with timely topical political commentary, you can check us out at Middle America Vin and Sori. If you want to hang out with this one,
yeah, I'm gonna upload a video pretty soon about Sayla when she got her shot, so you'll get to see how that went.
Gangsta.
Don't tell them.
We're going to be offline, by the way, in about 6 to 8 weeks because we're having a baby.
We are.
But none of you foul. We're doing a bunch of marathon sessions, so you shouldn't feel any difference.
Right.
And I'm toying around with the idea of posting little, behind-the-scenes life updates with Orion and stuff on the Patreon page if I can figure out how to do video on Patreon.
Well, that's going to be happening, but that's going to be on my story.
Little phone. Oh, you're gonna do that while we're on leave?
I was gonna just video different little things and then drop it in there.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you were gonna do anything while you're on leave.
Well, this is my idea. I don't know if I will.
Right. But I will, and so the behind the scenes stuff is gonna be on Patreon when we're on leave. But you, dear audience, will not feel anything different because. Right. We've got a board and we've got 80 videos to upload. So here we are.
Circles to
All right, let's go.
Fill with songs. And go. can figure this one out.
What do you mean?
It was like so short, like I couldn't catch the rhythm and the...
Yeah, but the riff, and then the at the end. This is 1970.
Yeah. Well, that's an old one.
Like, that riffage, like, I feel like people were saying that Black Sabbath kind of invented metal. But I don't know, man. I feel like this is that riff is very, very metal.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the prototype, because now you hear that say,
you're right.
Put it in another key, but the idea of the riff, in freaking 1970, that's like, that would have been mind blowing. It's kind of like the Kinks song, which by the way you can release right now. It's kind of like the Kinks song, that riff where I was like, it's a corny song, it's short, but that riff in the 60s would have been pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. So, especially, like, can you unplug the thing? Mm-hmm. The riff at the end was... Like, all that stuff, like, you don't hear that stuff in the 60s and the 70s. Like, that right there is a metal riff. Like, the whole riff was metal from start to finish. So, because unless there was... Have we ever heard any Sabbath songs from, like, the 60s? Maybe these guys came out at the same time.
I don't know, babe.
Because the other guy, Iommi from Black Sabbath, like, when he writes riffs, it's like, oh, okay, that's where everybody, like, you could see later on in metal.
Where getting it from, yeah.
But this was 1970, so it's like, these guys were... That's pretty freaking early, and the riff... Like, I'm blown away by that riff, man, because it sounds simple, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I've heard some variation of that riff and played some variation of that riff a million times.
Yeah. Yeah, once you pointed it out, I was like, oh, yeah, that is.
Like, I'm thinking about Lamb of God, the 11th Hour, where they ratcheted up the speed and things like that. But So... That came from these guys. Like, it's really, really fascinating. I've never heard this song before, but I have heard the
None of it was familiar.
The little scream at the beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that scream before.
Oh, really?
The yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it was in a commercial or what, but I'm pretty sure I've heard that scream before. But everything else sounds like, I don't know. This right here is a Viking song, though. Valhalla?
We come from the land. Yeah, I saw Valhalla.
We come from the land of ice and snow. Like, the Northmen.
From the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. I always wanted to go in a hot spring. Would you ever do that?
What, go to a hot spring?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I want to do it, but I feel like I'd be a little bit scared that, like, what if there was something in there?
Huh?
Something would bite my feet or something. Because you can't see.
Well, that's any water. Any thing of water you can bite your foot or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I'm choosy about where I put my feet.
Really? Did you go in any of the water in Florida?
Nope.
When you visited?
Nope.
Yeah, you guaranteed.
Pools and stuff.
Yeah, guaranteed snakes and all that stuff. Yeah, we used to have this tradition, 4th of July. We used to go to this, like, pond or whatever. I don't know what it was. And my mom called it a beach, but it wasn't a beach. She didn't really take us to the beach a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, there was a big concern about riptides and things like that. But so we went to the
sharks go right up to the...
I didn't see any sharks.
Alligators?
But again, we saw alligators for sure. Not in the beach, obviously, but in the little ponds and lakes or whatever. Like, yeah, it was no joke. It was no joke. And I remember one time we heard like an alligator croak, and me and my older brother, we dipped out, and then as we're running, we stepped into this pile of snakes.
Ew.
And then we were gone. And then as we were running, there was another black couple running behind us, and they're like, the guy's like, run, an alligator can run faster than a horse. Which, at the time, I completely believed it.
They do move fast,
But they can't move as fast as a horse. Like, that's crazy to me.
No, they don't.
But, of course, we weren't going to sit there and check them. There was no Wikipedia at the time. So we were ghosts. We were like, see ya.
They must have been laughing so hard at you guys.
No, they weren't laughing. They were scared to death.
Did they think that they'd go as fast as a horse?
I'm sure he believed it. It was him and his wife, and they were out. Yeah, black folk didn't play around with stuff like that.
No, I know.
White people were like, oh my God, let's look at the alligator. Oh, they were holding snakes.
Open the mouth.
They're completely fine. They were completely one with nature. They were completely fearless. Like, oh, wow, there's a snake pit. You see little kids in the snake pit. No, not us. We were like, chill, homie. We were out.
Not me.
No, sir. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the song. Back to our regular scheduled program. So this is a Viking song. We are the hammer of the gods. We'll drive our ship to new lands to fight the hordes, singing, crying, Valhalla, I'm coming.
Yep.
We sweep the threshing ore. Our only goal will be the western shore. We come from the land of ice and snow. How soft your fields so green can whisper tales of gore. Oh, that's a good line. You got green fields, this beautiful place in England, and then it's just...
soft field, and then whisper tales of gore.
Gore! Yeah. Because of all the jihad, fisa-billah, that was happening. Well, it wasn't fisa-billah, it was fisa-bi possessions, but... of how we calmed the tides of war. We are your overlords.
Jeez.
Yikes. So now you'd better stop and rebuild all your ruins, for peace and trust can win the day despite all your losing. Well, so this is kind of like a nice little positive end at the end of the thingamajig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can have peace and trust despite everything that has happened. So the first 3/4 of the song is about, we conquered everything. And, hey, but you can have peace even though you lost. Huh?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like... you already did your damage,
right.
And now all of a sudden they're saying, but don't retaliate, just chill.
Right, hey, give peace a chance, hey! Hey!
When Johan attacks Dorian.
Did he run up the stairs today? I heard a lot of fear in that voice.
Yes, because...
Does he say, like, save me or something?
That's what he said, Mom, save me!
When he hit his brother?
No, I told him to wake up Dorian, and then, Dorian wasn't waking up, and so I said, well, just pull his blanket off while you're telling him to wake up. And he goes, I tried that, and I don't know what else he did, but he must have done something.
He probably did that thing where they threw the water on each other, you know? So,
but then I heard him book
all I heard was,
save me!
Save me! Fear! Yeah. That used to happen all the time with me and Jamie.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because he'd do stuff he knew would piss me off, and I'd go after him. And then, Ma! Ma! Yeah.
We didn't do that because you would have got in trouble for instigating.
Yeah, Jamie never got in trouble for instigating because I was always the bad guy.
And sometimes my parents would send us all to bed, so it wasn't worth it.
I told him one time, I said, even if you go to Mom, I'm going to wait, and you're going to think we're good, I'm going to punch you right in the face. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And he did. And I did. And I did.
You did?
Absolutely.
You punched him right in the face?
Watch all. He just... I had to show him.
Like, how hard? Like, you gave him a bloody nose or something?
No, I didn't give him a bloody nose. I mean, I hit him right,
right in the jaw.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I pieced him. And, because he had to know that running to Mom's not going to solve your problem. You know what I'm saying? So I was willing to take the apocalyptic...
Did you get in trouble?
Oh, yeah.
But you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, of course. But, it kind of increased my, he was like, crap. Well, he just knew not to mess with me because
So did he not do it after that?
Nah, he didn't do whatever he was doing after that. He used to, I'd be playing video games and I was like the video game master.
Yeah.
And then he would, reset the game before I, beat the final boss or whatever. And I'd run after him and he'd run upstairs. He thought it was a big game. Yeah, so I said, do that. I'm going to punch you right in the face. I don't care.
He's like, yeah, so right. Wild.
He's like, yeah, right, blah, blah, blah.
We never shut off games on each other growing up. But I see the kids do it.
My brothers did it all the time. Which, of course, now I realize why. I mean, I was horrible. Because I was the best at that stuff. Because I'd stay down there and practice forever.
Yeah.
I was saving up to get Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
And I found some way to get the book that had all the controls and the special moves. So by the time I got Street Fighter 2, I was a freaking pro at it already. I was spending literally hours with the controller practicing these moves. So at the time, like, our family couldn't figure out how to do the Hadouken because it's pretty hard to do. You got to kind of like... And, so by the time I got it, I was I was intolerable. It was intolerable to play.
Oh, my gosh.
because I was always playing, and it was always make it take it. Always the winner would get to.
Well, they must not have expected it either, because you were playing with just a blank controller before the game came out.
Yeah. I mean, they knew I would talk about it every day. I was walking around with the controller. I would fall asleep with the controller, all that stuff. So they knew, like, but they didn't know how good I was gonna be. I mean, they couldn't touch me.
Oh my gosh.
They couldn't touch me. You know, it was a disaster. You'd go and get Nintendo Power in the store, and they'd give you strategies and little cheesy things. Oh yeah. So I was intolerable to play with. But at the same time, it's the newest video game that we had, so everybody wanted to play. So they had no choice but to get there and get waxed by me all day. You know what I mean? So of course they're gonna do things to fight back, but you know, at the time I wasn't really feeling that. So, and I would just destroy Jamie. I wouldn't give him any, like, there was no like, oh well, you're my brother, so you know, I just annihilated him.
Oh my god.
And I would mock him terribly. So yeah. Anyway, there you go. So,
Yikes.
This is talking about Vikings taking over the world, but it's kind of random because it's called Immigrant Song.
Wait, let me have one more thing to say into that thing. That would have annoyed me so much, because I hate, like, cheating aspects, and I would have considered that cheating. Like,
What?
you didn't learn the game, like, from playing it, but you bought this book to get... They used to call those books cheats, right?
No.
What was it called?
It was just they came with every single game that you had.
Oh,
Instruction.
really?
Yeah, they just show you how to play.
Do you remember when they came out with stuff called cheats?
Well, yeah, they had cheat stuff and things like that.
So it wasn't that?
No, it was just the instruction manual.
My sister
But I
used
mean,
to...
even if you had those cheat thingamajiggies, they wouldn't really work against a skilled player. Those cheat things were working against the computer, so it'd show you ways to beat the algorithm for the computer, but it really didn't help you with a human being who knew what you were going to do.
Oh, okay.
So...
Right. Yeah, I probably would have still... My sister used to bite her fingernail and stretch it out so it would look longer.
Okay.
And it made me so angry, because I'm like, she's cheating! And I remember telling my mom, and then as I was...
How is that cheating? How does that give her an advantage? For video games?
No. It had nothing to do with video games.
Oh.
It just had to do with... She wanted the longest nails, and she wanted her nails to look long, so she'd pull on them.
Okay. So
they'd stretch a little
told
bit.
your mom.
So I told my mom, and I remember as I was telling my mom, I'm like, this is stupid. Like, she's not doing anything wrong. She's just doing something I don't like. And
Right.
my mom was kind of like, I think it was like one of those awkward, she can do what she wants, it's her fingernails. Mom, she's stretching out her fingernails. Okay.
This is a very interesting song considering our current social climate. Because it's called Immigrant Song, but this is about Vikings coming to take over
America?
people's land. Not America.
Well, they
per
said the
se.
West, so where was it?
Well, yeah, the Vikings were north and they were going to the, to the west. To Europe and whatever. So so it's pretty jacked up, it's called Immigrant Song, but these are not immigrants, these are invaders. Which is, the big homie Trump, that was his big old
Right, that's his big thing.
whatever McJagger. So it's just so funny to me how meanings and implications of songs can evolve, because if this song came out now, there would be a problem. Because people would be like, what you trying to say? You're trying to do some subliminal whatever, and it was really... But is some of this like, I'm a rock star, so I'm going to come and... remember the Cowboys from Hell? Like, we're going to come to your land and take all your stuff and your women and all this. And it was just about the rock star lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is kind of like the same thing. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's like we're going to go and... Remember like Behemoth?
Yeah.
When they posted and they talked about conquering and all
Yeah.
this, and they ran through America and all this, and he was sick, but we conquered like some warriors or whatever.
So do you think the immigrant, they're title themselves?
Yeah, I feel like, well, I mean, they're speaking in the we come from the land of ice and snow,
Where are these people from originally?
I don't know where Zeppelin's from. I think Damon said they're from England.
Yeah, I thought he said London.
But which is even more ironic, right? Because the English were fighting the Viking, the Norsemen. So
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's a pretty provocative thing to do as an English band, if they are English, to personify themselves as Vikings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so there might be a double here, especially if you're at the end. You better stop. Rebuild all your ruins, and peace and trust can win the day.
Yep.
So this is 1970. So Vietnam is still happening, right? Okay. So maybe it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're coming as a band, we're gonna conquer or whatever. And then the last verse is like, but they're coming with a positive message, so that we can all have peace, because there's a lot of conflict happening, particularly in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure Nam was still going on in 1970. Let me see. Shout out to all the Vietnam vets, by the way.
Yeah.
Seriously, shout out to you guys. Probably the most forgotten group of soldiers.
Yeah, that's...
So, yeah, I don't know how... Say it that way. Ended in 1975, right?
Yep.
So... we're in full swing of the Vietnam War, so they personify themselves as conquering warriors, while at the same time they end talking about peace and trust, despite all the loss that we've all suffered, etc., etc. Yep. So there's a lot of things happening simultaneously in this song. It's you got English people personifying themselves as Viking people, and then ending the song with peace and trust after ruin.
Yeah.
In 2 or 3 minutes with an iconic, epic riff. I'm sure that this riff is famous, and if it's not famous, it should be, because it's probably been copied by every single kid who's ever had a guitar.
Uh-huh.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, once you pointed it out.
It's crazy to me. Yeah. Well, it's crazy to me, like, you know, when I first got my guitar, like, Blind was the first song, you know. But, like, it's crazy to me how... You're sitting there, like, trying to come up with something, like, original sounding. And then you listen to bands that were playing before you were born. And then you realize that the bands that you heard, and you felt like you were copying their riffs. It's like the fifth generation of that riff.
Yeah.
And it's, like, crazy to be like, yo, these are the it's like finding your dad, you know, like on a Maury Povich show. It really feels like that. Because you know, playing the instrument, you know what I mean? Like, it really feels like when you learn your first song or first lick from your first band or whatever, it's like a cool moment for you as a kid, you know? But
yeah, I can see how that would be cool if there's something that you're really into and then you like find out where it originated. I bet that would be a cool feeling. Especially when you think you know.
That's my favorite thing about this channel is like...
figuring that stuff out.
Yeah. Being like, you don't know nothing. And being happy. See, that's the thing. People are like, oh, you didn't know anything about metal or its history or anything like that. Why'd you do it? It's like, I love discovering this stuff on the fly. I love it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like really a crazy experience being like, yo, these are the dudes that started it. This guy, Jimmy Page, and Tony Iommi. Like, you got two guys... It's mind-blowing to me. You have two guys that literally inspired millions of people. Like, because I always say if it wasn't for Head and Jim from Slipknot, I'd never have a guitar.
Right.
But there's a band that made them say that they would say, for them, I would have a guitar. And then there's another band, and then it locates to two human beings.
Right.
Like, that's mind-boggling to me.
Right.
The impact that these guys have. Like, you think in 1969 or 70, they're like, yeah, some kids in, 34 years from now or 40 years from now, or I can't even do math. 1970 to 2019.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, 50, 60 years from now, these kids will be discovering this for the first time.
Yeah, I wonder if they had any idea or any thought that would be a possibility.
How? You didn't even have the internet. How could you, Like, it's 1970. I'm pretty sure they didn't even have the internet.
Yeah, but you have to say, I wonder how many generations will inspire. Right.
And it's like, there are some songs where it's like, as an artist, you work so hard and long at, and it's an epic song and it takes forever. This is like a 2-3 minute song.
Yeah.
So, how could they have possibly known? Like, it doesn't seem to me this is a song where you're like, this is going to change the world. This song's 49 years old. It's crazy to me.
I know.
Like, it doesn't seem like this is a song where they would feel like it would change the world. It's like a 2.5 minute, 3-minute song. But to me, it's an epic song because it's the first time probably a riff like that's been played. At least for mass consumption. All right, what do you give the song?
I had such a hard time jumping on with it. But I guess after the discussion about it, probably I'll give it a 9.
9?
Yeah. What about you? Outsider? I feel like you're gonna go for a 10.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 10, man. I feel like this is I feel like it's an important song. I feel like this is a historical song that, it's way too influential to me to be anything other than a 10. It's a 10 for me.
A 9 for me. I almost said 4. 9 for me.
All right.
Because I saw 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.